2022 is turning out to be the year we will all remember for bear markets, recession fears, record inflation, and maybe even a few nothing burgers. Today, we are going to look back at some of the events of the first half of this year and sort the nothing burgers from the spoiled cheeseburgers. This may get messy, and let's get that messy on right now. So, to make sure we are all on the same page, I just want to define our three categories for this video. Nothing burger almost needs no explanation, but in essence, it is a whole lot of nothing, like the movement Bitcoin makes when everyone tells you it is about to break to the moon. A spoiled cheeseburger, and we will be seeing plenty of those today, is the bad news downward, red plunging, F-bomb dropping, holy banana bread thumping, feel bad reporting type of news. But we have one more, the golden hamburger. This one is that flush with green, sunshine and rainbows happy news burger. Hopefully we will get an appearance of that golden hamburger sometime in this video. Before the food metaphors start flying, I want you guys to hit the comments and tell me if your portfolio this year has been a giant nothing burger, a spoiled cheeseburger, or maybe that elusive golden hamburger. I will be looking forward to reading those. Also, if you are new to the channel, or one of those folks who watches all the time but hasn't yet subscribed, yes, I'm talking to you, Vinny, please click on the subscribe button. It's free and it helps me bring the content to you. People who have a basic understanding of monetary supply versus the dollar's buying power would have had no surprise that inflation was coming in response to all that money printing during the pandemic. That in itself was a big nothing burger, but it was much worse than that. The supply chain shortages coupled with labor shortages took inflation well into spoiled cheeseburger territory. We have experienced record inflation, and in some areas inflation rates not seen in 50 years. The response to all of this inflation is to raise rates to lower demand, which will lower a contributing factor to inflation. Unfortunately, rate hikes will not fix the supply chain or labor shortage issues. Rate hikes will not solve the additional supply chain issues that are resulting from the war in Ukraine. The danger is always that the rate hikes will go too far and help cement us into a recession. It goes without saying, the inflation mess is our first spoiled cheeseburger of the day. The good old Bitcoin YouTubers have all been waiting for that mythical moment the SEC approves a spot Bitcoin ETF in the States. Countries like Canada and Australia already have one, so surely the US is next. Well, this has been a battle cry and how it will explode the Bitcoin price for a very long time. It was a massive nothing burger in 2021. But what about this year? That is a story that has not changed. So far, all spot Bitcoin ETF applications ruled on in 2022 have been rejected by the SEC. With Bitcoin futures ETFs approved last year and a few more earlier this year, the hopium was getting pumped. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust was the last to be rejected as they wanted to convert their trust to a spot Bitcoin ETF, and they stated they would sue the SEC if it was denied. Of course, it looks like that lawsuit is being prepared as the SEC delivered a heaping helping of nothing burger on the possibilities of a spot Bitcoin ETF. One of the key indicators of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative real GDP. This one is interesting because the story is a wee bit different depending on which side of the US-Canada border you happen to live. In Canada, the real GDP in Q1 was a measly 0.8%, which, yes, that is positive. We, of course, are still waiting on Q2 results, and they are expected to be very close to zero with a slight leanings to the positive side. This would mean a recession is not going to be official until perhaps towards the end of the year or early 2023. In other words, the Canadian real GDP is a nothing burger for now. But what about the US? The Q1 real GDP in the US was negative 1.6%, and expert economists are expecting the number to be just as bad in Q2, which means that the US technically is in a recession. This is absolutely a giant spoiled cheeseburger if I ever saw one. When we look at the war in Ukraine, I think this is an easy one. War tends to always be a spoiled cheeseburger, and there is no exception to this one. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is nothing short of horrific. The effects on the world economy via supply chain disruptions of oil and food is absolutely impactful on all of us. This is turning into a longer event, and these effects are expected to persist well into this year and the next. There will be plenty of spoiled cheeseburgers for everyone. The pandemic and lockdowns that resulted created the perfect recipe for supply chain disruptions. As China locked down ports for long periods of time, goods were simply not moving. In addition to that, we also had people locked in their homes, which also helped to proliferate some of the issues with moving supplies. Mandates and rules to prevent the spread of the virus was often not kind to the supply chain. On the other side of the pandemic, things have not returned to normal, as a lot of people have not returned to some of these supply chain related jobs, leading to crucial labor shortages. When you add in the food and oil shortages from the war, we have a giant plate full of spoiled cheeseburgers. The collapse of the cryptocurrency market has been absolutely devastating for many investors. Some coins like Luna and Terra were figuratively wiped off the map, and that is not a trend that is finished. Bitcoin saw its value drop from $69,000 USD in November to less than $20,000 in 2022. Exchanges have also been struggling with Celsius pausing all transactions and many others flirting with liquidity. The reality in 2022 is that more people than ever before are moving their coins to hardware wallets. Unfortunately, with Celsius and a few other exchanges, people lost a lot of crypto that they will likely never get back. There is, however, a silver lining to this massive spoiled cheeseburger. With Bitcoin dropping to lows many of us thought we would never see again, a lot of people have bought more Bitcoin. In fact, we have seen more than 13,000 new Bitcoin holders achieve the status of Bitcoin crab or better, meaning they hold at least one full Bitcoin. Despite the silver lining, in 2022, the whole crypto market is still a steaming plate of spoiled cheeseburgers. We have seen a lot of spoiled cheeseburgers and a few nothing burgers, but we have yet to see a golden hamburger. Well, that is about to change. The market is deep in the red, and some of those losses are just insane. However, as spoiled cheeseburger as that sounds, it is an opportunity to be a golden hamburger. Bear markets or recessions are where millionaires are made. When you look at a billionaire like Warren Buffett, in 2022, he is buying high conviction stocks. He has often stated that the key to success in the market is to buy when people are fearful. So basically now. Trying to time the market is a great way to miss the bottom and minimize your overall profits. Dollar cost averaging is the key to getting the best returns on the other side of this bear market. Dollar cost averaging in a bear market will make you richer, and for this reason, it is one of the best golden hamburgers out there. Speaking of bear markets, you should check out my video on the recession survival guide, or you can try the video YouTube thinks you'll like. Your click will decide who's right, and I'll see you in the next video.